When my 8-year-old asked if there was any pizza left, my mom said, "Sorry, we ran out." Then she handed 2 fresh slices to my brother's friend. "But my grandma did." She said this and my parents' faces turned pale. My mom found a piece of pizza for my child, but it was too late because Grandma. My mother looked me dead in the eye and lied to my 8-year-old daughter. Just flat out lied. And honestly, I'm Melissa and I should have seen it coming after 32 years of being the second choice kid. But watching her do it to my little girl, to Emma, that hit different. We were at my parents' house for what was supposed to be a fun Saturday afternoon. My brother Derek had brought his buddy over, some guy named Travis who apparently couldn't function without being fed like royalty. Mom had ordered 3 large pizzas for lunch, and by the time Emma wandered into the kitchen, she'd been playing in the backyard for maybe 20 minutes. There were only a few slices left in one box. "Mommy, is there any pizza left?" Emma asked, her little voice so hopeful it made my chest hurt. My mother didn't even look up from where she was arranging fresh slices on a plate. "Sorry, sweetie, we ran out." I blinked. I literally watched her put 2 perfect slices with extra cheese, Emma's favorite, onto that plate. Before I could even process what was happening, Mom walked right past us and handed the plate to Travis. "Here you go, hon. Can't have Derek's friend going hungry." Travis, this grown man, just took it with a thanks and went back to the living room. Do you think I should have said something right then? Because I froze. I actually froze like some kind of doormat, and I hate myself for it. But my grandmother, my dad's mom, Grandma Joyce, she was sitting at the kitchen table and I saw her face change. You know that look when someone's done playing games? That was it. "Linda," Grandma Joyce said, her voice sharp enough to cut glass. "Did you just tell that child there's no pizza while handing slices to a grown man?" My mom's face went white. Like actually white. "Mom, I just meant." "You meant exactly what you said." Which was a lie. Grandma stood up, all 5'2" of her suddenly filling the entire kitchen with this energy that made everyone shut up. "I've watched you do this for years with Melissa. Years. But I will not sit here and watch you do it to my great-granddaughter." My dad appeared in the doorway, looking between Grandma and Mom like he wanted to disappear into the floor. "Mom, maybe we should." "Don't you mom me, Richard. You're just as guilty standing by while your wife treats one child like an afterthought." Grandma turned to Emma, her voice going soft. "Baby girl, would you like some pizza?" Emma nodded, looking confused and a little scared by all the tension. What happened next? Well, Grandma Joyce walked to the fridge, pulled out ingredients, and announced she was making Emma a personal pizza from scratch. But that's not even the wildest part of what went down that day. Want to know what my mother said when Grandma did that? And how my father reacted when he realized everyone could see exactly what they'd been doing for 3 decades. My brother Derek was still in the living room with Travis, completely oblivious. Emma was trying not to cry. Me. I was standing there realizing that my 8-year-old had just learned the same lesson I'd learned as a kid. In this family, some people matter more than others. At least that's what my parents thought the lesson was. Grandma Joyce had a very different curriculum in mind. You see, my whole life had been like this. Derek got the bigger bedroom, the better birthday parties, the college fund that was actually funded. When he brought friends over, the house turned into a restaurant. When I brought friends over, Mom would sigh about all these extra mouths to feed. I'd normalized it, told myself it wasn't that bad, made excuses. But watching my daughter's face fall when her grandmother lied to her, that broke something in me. Grandma was already pulling out flour, sauce, and cheese. "Emma, honey, come help me. We're going to make the best pizza you've ever had, and nobody," she shot a look at my mother that could have melted steel, "is going to tell you there isn't enough." My mom tried to salvage it. "Emma, wait, I think I can find." "Too late, Linda," Grandma said, not even turning around. "You made your choice. Now live with it." What do you think went through my mother's head right then? Because I could see her trying to figure out how to spin this, how to make herself look better. Here's the thing about my family. We're really good at pretending everything's fine. We're experts at sweeping stuff under the rug, at making excuses, at gaslighting each other into thinking that blatant favoritism is just different parenting styles. My dad's favorite phrase? "That's just how your mother is." Like that explains away 32 years of being the spare kid. But Grandma Joyce? She'd had enough. And honestly, so had I. As Emma helped Grandma spread sauce on the dough, I made a decision. I didn't know exactly what it would look like yet, but I knew I was done protecting my parents' feelings at the expense of my daughters. Done making excuses. Done pretending that family is family meant I had to accept being treated like I didn't matter. The kitchen was dead silent except for Grandma talking to Emma about pizza toppings. My mother stood there looking like she wanted to say something but couldn't figure out what. My dad had retreated. Classic Richard move. Back to whatever room Derek was in. Me. I was planning. Because if my parents thought this was just going to blow over like everything else, they had no idea what was coming. Imagine what I decided to do then. Because the Melissa who would have swallowed this and moved on? She died the second my daughter asked for pizza and got lied to instead. Very soon, my parents were going to learn that you can only push someone aside for so long before they push back. And when they do, it's going to hurt. What happened while that pizza was baking? That's when things got really interesting. So while Grandma Joyce was teaching Emma how to spread cheese evenly, and honestly watching them together made my heart feel like it might explode, my phone buzzed. It was a text from Derek. Can you come to the living room? Need to talk. I almost ignored it. Classic Derek summoning me like I'm his assistant. But something in my gut told me to go, so I did. When I walked in, Travis wasn't there anymore. Just Derek sitting on the couch looking uncomfortable. That was new. Where's your friend? I asked. Bathroom. Derek rubbed his face. Mel, I heard what just happened. Oh, so you finally noticed that Mom treats your friends better than her own granddaughter? He flinched. Actually flinched. That's not, though look. I know Mom and Dad have always been different with us. I laughed and it came out harsher than I meant it to. Different? Derek, she literally lied to an 8-year-old's face so your buddy could have pizza. I know. He looked at me and for the first time in maybe ever I saw something like guilt in his eyes. I told Travis to go home. Wait, what? You, what? I told him to leave. Said something came up. Derek stood up, shoved his hands in his pockets. Mel, I'm not stupid. I've known for years that they treat you like crap. I didn't want to see it, you know? Because if I saw it, I'd have to admit I benefited from it. Do you think this made me feel better? Because it didn't. It made me angrier. He'd known. He'd known all along and just let it happen? So what? I said, my voice shaking. You want a medal for finally acknowledging it? You want me to forgive you because you sent your friend home after my daughter got humiliated? No, he stopped. Started again. I want to help. Whatever you're planning, I can see it on your face. You're planning something. I was about to tell him to go to hell when Mom appeared in the doorway. Derek, honey, I made some. Oh. She saw me. Her whole demeanor changed, got defensive. Melissa, I hope you're not in here making a big deal out of nothing. I said I'd find Emma some pizza. After Grandma called you out, I said flatly. After you got caught lying to her face. I didn't lie, I just. Linda. Dad's voice came from behind her. He looked tired. Really tired. Stop. Mom whipped around. Richard, I'm just trying to. I said stop. Dad walked into the room and I noticed something I hadn't before. His hands were shaking a little. Mom's right. We haven't been fair. Now I was in the twilight zone. My father, the king of, that's just how your mother is, and don't make waves, was admitting fault? Mom's face went red. Are you seriously going to let your mother make me feel like a terrible person over pizza? It's not about the pizza, Dad said quietly. It's about 32 years of pizza. The room went dead silent. What do you think Mom did next? Because I sure didn't expect it. She started crying. Not like gentle tears, full-on sobbing. I didn't mean to, I never meant to make anyone feel. And here's where the unexpected part comes in. Emma walked into the living room holding a plate with a slice of the pizza she and Grandma had made. She walked right up to my mother and held it out. Grandma Joyce said sharing is important, Emma said in her little voice. Do you want some of my pizza, Grandma Linda? I swear to God, everyone in that room stopped breathing. My mother stared at this 8-year-old child, the child she just lied to, offering her food. The same child who'd just watched her own grandmother expose decades of favoritism was standing there with pure kindness on her face. Mom took the plate with shaking hands. Emma, I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I'm so sorry. It's okay, Emma said like it was simple. Grandma Joyce says people make mistakes but they can fix them. Grandma Joyce appeared behind Emma, and the look she gave my mother was complicated. Not quite forgiveness but something like a challenge. Like she was saying, this child is showing you more grace than you deserve. What are you going to do with it? You know what surprised me most? I started crying too. Because my daughter, my beautiful sweet daughter, was better than all of us. Derek cleared his throat. Mom, Dad, I think we need to have a real conversation. All of us. About how things have been. Dad nodded slowly. Yeah. We do. Mom was still holding that plate, tears running down her face. I don't know how to fix this. Well, Grandma Joyce said from the doorway, lucky for you I've got all afternoon. And some rules about how people treat each other under my watch. She looked at me. Melissa, you in? Was I in? Was I ready to have the conversation my family had been avoiding for 3 decades? Here's what I didn't expect. I wasn't alone anymore. Derek was standing with me. Grandma Joyce was there. Even my dad was finally stepping up. And Emma, God, Emma was showing all of us what real grace looked like. Yeah, I said. I'm in. What happened when we all sat down and Grandma Joyce started laying down the law? Let me tell you, my mother was not prepared for what came next. Neither was I, honestly. Because Grandma didn't just want to talk about the pizza. She wanted to talk about everything. The birthday parties. The college funds. The casual dismissals. The 32 years of being invisible. And for the first time in my life, my family was going to listen. Very soon things were going to change. I could feel it. But change is messy, and my mother was about to realize just how much damage she'd done, and how much work it was going to take to fix it. You think a pizza solved everything? Oh honey, we were just getting started. Grandma Joyce made everyone sit at the dining table. Even Emma, though she gave her crayons and paper to draw with. She should see how adults fix their mistakes, Grandma said. My mother looked like she wanted to disappear. Dad kept rubbing his temples. Derek sat next to me. When had that ever happened? Linda, Grandma started. How many times did Melissa ask for help with college applications? Mom blinked. I don't remember. 47 times, I said quietly. I kept count. You were always too busy helping Derek with his baseball stuff. Derek's head snapped up. Wait, what? I didn't know. Because you never had to know, I said. Everything just appeared for you. Grandma nodded. Richard, when was the last time you took Melissa out for a father-daughter day? Dad opened his mouth. Closed it. We did that thing at the... He trailed off because he couldn't remember. As it had never happened. Derek gets fishing trips twice a month, I said. My voice cracked. I asked once to go. Once. You said it was a guy thing. Do you think my dad looked ashamed? As he should have. Here's what's going to happen, Grandma said, pulling out a piece of paper. I'm making a list. Things that need to change. Starting now. Mom finally spoke. Mom Joyce, I understand I messed up, but you can't just come in and... I absolutely can. Because you've had 32 years to figure it out yourself and you didn't. Grandma's voice was steel. So now we do it my way. She started writing. 1. Family dinners. Everyone gets the same portions. No guests get served before grandchildren. 2. Birthdays. Equal budgets, equal effort. 3. Richard, you're taking Melissa and Emma out next Saturday. Wherever they want. My mother's face was doing something complicated. Pride fighting with guilt, fighting with denial. 4. Grandma continued. Derek, you're going to tell your parents when they're being unfair. No more staying silent. I can do that, Derek said immediately. He looked at me. I should have done it years ago. Then something unexpected happened. Emma stopped coloring and looked up. Grandma Linda, she said, do you not like my mommy? The whole room froze. Mom's face crumpled. Oh, sweetheart, no. I love your mommy very much. Then why were you mean to her? Emma asked like it was the simplest question in the world. Out of the mouths of babes, right? My daughter just cut through 32 years of excuses with one question. Mom got up, came around the table and knelt in front of me. She was crying again. Melissa, I don't have a good excuse. I got comfortable treating you one way and Derek another, and I told myself it was fine because you seemed fine, but that was just me being selfish and lazy and a bad mother. I wasn't ready for that. For actual accountability. I can't undo it, she continued. But I want to fix it. Really fix it. Will you let me try? What would you have said? Because I wanted to say no. I wanted to hold on to my anger. But Emma was watching and Grandma was watching and Derek was nodding at me like he believed it could actually happen. Yeah, I whispered. Okay. Dad stood up. I want to try to. I've been a coward letting this happen. Making excuses. He looked at Grandma Joyce. Mom, thank you for not letting us hide anymore. Grandma smiled just a little. That's what I'm here for. Over the next hour we talked. Really talked. Mom admitted she'd somehow convinced herself that I didn't need as much attention because I was more independent. Dad admitted he'd been repeating patterns from his own childhood without questioning them. Derek admitted he'd felt guilty but didn't know how to bring it up without everything exploding. Me. I admitted I'd let it happen too. That I'd convinced myself I was okay with scraps because at least it was something. No more, Grandma said firmly. No more scraps. Not in this family. Before we left that day, something else happened. Mom pulled out her phone and canceled the golf club membership she'd bought Derek last month. $800. We're putting this toward Emma's college fund, she said. And matching it for what we should have saved for Melissa years ago. Derek didn't even argue. He just said, that's fair. As we walked to the car, Emma holding the leftover pizza Grandma had packed up, my daughter looked up at me. Are we going to come back here? She asked. I thought about it. Yeah, baby. We are. But it's going to be different now. Good different. Yeah. Good different. Do you think people can really change? As I was about to find out, my parents started showing up. Really showing up. Mom called me 3 times that next week just to talk. Dad took Emma and me to the aquarium on Saturday like Grandma ordered, and for the first time I wasn't competing with Derek for his attention. Was it perfect? No. Mom still had moments where she defaulted to old patterns, but Derek would catch it now. Mom, you're doing it again, he'd say, and she'd actually stop and correct herself. Grandma Joyce? She became our family's North Star. Anytime someone started slipping, she'd give them the look and they'd straighten up real fast. 3 months later, at Emma's 9th birthday party, I watched my mother go overboard with decorations and cake and presents, and I started to say something about it being too much. But then I realized, this wasn't too much. This was what Derek had always gotten. This was just equal. And you know what? It felt good. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I know it's not some dramatic revenge tale where I cut everyone off forever, but sometimes the real victory is watching people actually change. If you've dealt with family favoritism, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Did they ever figure it out like mine did? And if you enjoyed hearing how my Grandma Joyce set everyone straight, please hit that like button. If something about this story didn't sit right with you, tell me in the comments. I read them all. Sometimes all it takes is one person, one Grandma Joyce, to say, enough and mean it. I'm just grateful mine did. Thanks for watching.